Hey YouTube. So I wanted to make a video today about the whole industry and it relates to every industry, I suppose, with what like contracting, or you could any sort of small business where you provide a service for someone. I was at the golf club the other day after playing golf, and I had someone approach me, I guess asking, and it was a bit flattering really, it was sort of a really nice a question to ask that made me feel quite good about myself. And that was basically, how did I get my business to become so successful so quickly? And I've sort of been thinking about it over the past week, and my immediate answer to him was that I think I communicate really well with my clients, with potential clients, and I mean that's not wholly and solely obviously how or why I would be or have become and built a successful business. But I wanted to make a video today talking a little bit more about that and how to build a successful business. When someone asks you what you do for a living, what do most of you say if you're in the lawn or landscaping or gardening industry? I know I say I've got a lawn mowing and gardening business. That's my answer to them when they ask what I do for a living. Now, something that I've come to realise, and it sort of, people are probably going to think otherwise of what I say, but we are all salesmen to a degree. We're all selling something, and that's why I pose a question in this video: what are you selling? So, what am I selling? Is what I've got to ask myself. So, am I selling a lawn mower? Am I selling a blowing and trimming job? What am I selling? That's the question. And I think, to refer back to that question that person asked me, is that, and something that I feel like I do better than most, and where a lot of my success comes from, is that I sell myself. I'm selling myself to my customers. Anyone can mow a lawn, not anyone can lay a good edge, but anyone can learn to lay a good edge. Anyone can blow off a path, but not everyone can be me. So, now that doesn't mean that you can't do what I'm doing. So when I say that I'm selling myself, it all starts with that first contact with the client. So answer the phone when they ring. So I just had a new potential client just call me 5 minutes ago. I've got my headphones in so you can see them here. They're in my ears all day. I answered the phone. So immediately I've got them on the phone. I've got a potential customer on the phone, and I'm able to make a conversation with them. And then I start talking. Then I'll let them talk about what's needed, and I do a lot of listening. What I'm finding is less and less people who are contacting me are asking me straight up what I charge, and I quickly dismiss that as in, I'll come and see you at the property and then we'll talk about the price. No one's ever jacked up at that or anything like that. They're all very happy that I'll come out and see them. So that's number two. So first thing's answering the phone, and then having a conversation, the right conversation with them on the phone. So once you've got them on the phone, you're talking about, the first thing I always ask now is this a once-off or an ongoing job? So we get that out of the way early, so we're on the same page of what's going to happen. Then I ask where the property is located, and if it's in my area of service, then we're good to go. Then I would work out a time to go and meet them at the property, or at least go and have a look at it. So that's the first initial part, right? So you get there, you do your quote, they take the quote, then you're off and running, and you now are a service provider for that person. That's not the end of the story. Okay, so from that point on, it is your job to then sell yourself to that person ongoing. All right, they're good enough to give you ongoing business, so you need to make sure that they know that you are providing the service, happy to do whatever's needed, at a cost to them. Don't be afraid to say that. And then that's where the communication comes into it. So, for example, this year I've made an attempt 3 times to make contact with all my clients. So for the people that I don't see when I'm doing the lawn, they get an email generally earlier in the year, sort of March, April. They get a winter letter, a winter email, and then they get, so this year they got a Christmas card, and I've had heaps and heaps of feedback on that. Everyone's said, it was lovely to receive a Christmas card. Because I put a picture of my family and all their equipment on my family with the equipment that we use, and everyone loved that so far. So as it would, you'd have to be a bit of an arsehole to get a Christmas card from someone with their family on it, and be and you'd have anyway. So that's a couple of examples of what I mean by selling yourself to the client consistently. I regard myself as a salesman, but as I said, what I'm selling is me now. So my product is me. So I've got to be the best possible product I can be to maintain that client base. So what I feel that is different is that generally when most people are talking about their experience with another contractor, they typically say unreliable, doesn't answer his phone, never know what's going on, never get an invoice, invoices just show up randomly. It's all sort of, everything's very scattered, and they never really know what they're going to get. And that's where it comes back to communication. I think people would rather know when you're going to come, if they need to know when they're going to come. That it is a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes to contact someone every time before that you mow the lawn. But try and get it on a text message thing, so you can just flick them a text, and that takes 5 seconds. It's probably easy for me to say all of this, but I think if just having that little bit of confidence to know that person's called you, so the ball is wholly and solely in your court, and you can be whoever you want to be to that person. It can start off as a really good relationship, or it can start off as a shit relationship, all by the way you answer the phone, possibly. You answer it in a nice tone of voice, end the phone call well, and there's progression. A lot of times when I've had people call me and I'm not the first person they've called, it's usually, the person hasn't answered, or I called someone a few days ago, they never got back to me. So most of the time they're happy just for someone to answer the phone. So, immediately they're on the right foot with you. So, I think that's something to really think about. And like I said, this is, I think this is can work for any business, not just what, mowing lawns. Like mowing lawns is to everyone is just what anyone and everyone can do, but can everyone sell themselves better than the next person? And that's, I think, the difference between having a successful business and having a mediocre business that just gets by. And that's not something that I want to do. I want to be successful, and I want to be the best at what I do in my area, and renowned for it. And that's what one of my goals. And I think, as I said, I think I put that down to, firstly doing quality work, and also just selling myself and keeping up what I preach, practicing what I preach, I suppose. I just can't say enough for communication. Communication is everything. And the old saying, under promise, over deliver. That's something that really works well in this industry as well. If you're, especially when you're busy, saying, look, I'm really busy at the moment. I'll get there to mow your lawn, for those one-off customers or whatever. But it might take me a week. And as long as they know, they're like, yep, okay, no worries. And you get there and you're there in 3 days. So they're like, oh wow, he was here, like 2 days after I called him. That's awesome. Just something like that can be as simple as that, make all the difference. So I'm sure everyone's got their own ideas of what they can sell, in their business, or relate this to their business in some way. But I hope this helps. Thanks, guys. Peace.